Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the new Bataleon Party Wave Plus. That's right, the big brother to the regular Party Wave. This board features Bataleon's low camber with 3BT and sidekick technology. So low camber is a very mellow traditional camber, so from contact point to contact point you have that arc of traditional camber. That's going to give you the load, pop, snap, and drive. Now with the 3BT and sidekick, that spoons out the nose more than the tail. So you have a more defined 3BT giving a 3D shaping. So it creates a hull-like effect. This is going to help you with powder float as well as ease of entry in and out of turns, plus doing nose butters. But with the tail being a little more mellow, it's going to grip and give a little more power out of the tail and just help with that drive of the snowboard. This board is available in 148, 151, 154, and 157. I rode this board at Copper Mountain and it was a mix of sun, clouds, kind of just like after the storm conditions. It was a little bit cooler, there was chop, chunder, a little bit of ice, about 6 inches of fresh snow, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. So obviously this board has a fully directional flex, softer nose progressively stiffening up to the tail. There is a little bit of torsional flex, nothing mind-blowing in there. With it being part of the Plus line, it is on the stiffer side, so I would say overall it's past middle of the road. For a party board, it's just stiffer in general. Now when it comes to the stability, the width of this board just gives a ton of stability. Then you add to that the camber, the flex pattern, it plows through chop and chunder. You'll notice right away with that 3BT shaping that it funnels everything out and just pushes right through it. This is like an ice barge just breaking up ice. You don't have to worry about it. It just busts right through that crust overall, and you don't really have to keep your knees bent because, well, it's that stable. With this board having their low camber, it's basically loaded up. Like you just don't really have to worry too much about engaging it to get it to pop. Is it the most mind-blowing pop out there? No, it's enough to get the job done. You're gonna be able to send a roller, a side hit, ollie over a fat skier. You don't have to worry about it. If you're in POW, it's gonna porpoise just fine. Overall, it's enough to get the job done, just not mind-blowing. Alright, so let's talk about buttering on this board. You got a couple things that really do benefit you. You got that 3BT shaping and sidekick that spoon out that nose. You got a mellow camber profile. Now what you have going against you is a stiffer flex, a wider platform. So unless you got a big boot, your leveraging around is going to take a little bit more effort. This is a board you got to muscle. You have to manhandle. So when you do get sideways on that nose, you don't have to worry about the edges contacting, hooking, or anything like that. But you have to worry about just getting your weight out over it and really flexing into it. With the tail actually being stiffer, you basically end up sitting on it when you go sideways and whatnot. At the end of the day, can you butter with it? Yes. Is it going to be fun? That's debatable. So what you're going to notice with that 3BT being more aggressively shaped in the nose is that ease of entry and transition from toe to heel is quicker outside the front foot. When you're actually on edge and exiting, it's a little slower just because of that less defined 3BT. Can this board carve? Yes. Is it going to be able to crank them over as hard as you want and give you a lot of power? No, that's where this board lacks. You lose some of that drive from the center of the board back through the tail. It's like, doesn't matter how fast you're going or how much weight you throw into it, it just hits this wall and it's like, that's what you're gonna get. Short, tight, quick carves, long, hard, drawn out carves, yeah, it's got you covered. On ice, it does leave a little bit more to be desired. It just ends up losing that bite out at the contact points. It brings it back closer underfoot, so you gotta understand you're gonna be doing a little more ankle steering, and the torsional flex on this board isn't abundant enough to match where you need it, so you end up kind of kicking out from time to time. Who's this board for? The heavier all-mountain party boarder. That's right, big guys, I'm looking at you. So I really do wish that I'd ridden this board in either the 54 or the 51. This was like driving a boat in the 57. It's just not the board for my style of riding for this type of deck at all. Was it doable? Yes, it was very manageable, and this thing was like driving a Cadillac and I was just crushing curbs with it and not worrying. This is like your 78 Eldorado and you're trying to do a 3-point turn. It's not going to happen. But hey, you want a smooth ride that's just going to be able to meander from side to side of the runs? No problem. I even took it in some tight trees and I didn't die. But like I said, wouldn't be my first choice of a board for my style of riding or this type of deck, but it did get the job done. Comparable boards, the Salomon Dancehaul Pro, the Rome Stalefish, the Ride Super Pig. Binding recommendations, the Bataleon Astro, the Now Select Pro, the Ride C8. This has been my review of the Bataleon Party Wave Plus. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.